The viral thread that started it all continues to accumulate millions of views. Each replay of the clip feels like a tiny blow to the myth of Taehyung, the sophisticated idol. The longer the silence from his team, the more the rumor mill spins, that he has been hiding behind a mask, that his interviews were carefully scripted, that the Taehyung you think you know has never existed at all. Are these suspicions justified, or are they the fever dreams of a fandom addicted to scandal? This is not the first time Taehyung's authenticity has been questioned. In 2023, he faced criticism for appearing to distance himself from the cute label he had once embraced. Some accused him of abandoning the persona that endeared him to millions in order to chase a more serious, adult image. Others defended the shift as natural growth. But even then, no single moment catalyzed such a fierce backlash as this 15-second video. Why does this clip feel different? Could it be that, in a time when BTS's return to the stage has rekindled old passions, every gesture carries more weight than ever? As the debate rages on, one reality is undeniable. The boundaries between performance and reality are dissolving before our eyes. Whether you believe the viral video exposes Taehyung's hypocrisy or simply shows his humanity, you can't deny the unsettling power of a few unscripted seconds to shake the foundations of a superstar's carefully curated legend. What happens next may define the next chapter of BTS's global legacy and the way fans everywhere understand what it means to love an idol. Because in the end, this is about more than a single contradiction. It is about the fragile dance between truth and illusion, the delicate architecture of celebrity, and the way even the smallest crack can trigger an earthquake. And if you're wondering whether the real Taehyung has finally been exposed, you're not alone. The only certainty is that the world will be watching and speculating until he decides to answer for himself. If you think this controversy is simply a passing storm, you might be underestimating the hunger for scandal that has always simmered beneath the surface of K-pop fandom. Because this time, something feels different. This time, the stakes are higher, the contradictions starker, the consequences potentially more damaging. And all of it began with the simplest act, a moment of playful behavior that millions now believe may have revealed the truth Taehyung never intended you to see. Observers who have tracked the trajectory of Taehyung's public persona will tell you that no other BTS member has balanced as precariously between extremes. He has long been celebrated as the embodiment of sophistication, a man whose affinity for fine art, designer fashion, and soulful music set him apart from his peers. In countless interviews, he spoke with the measured cadence of someone who understood his own image perfectly, someone who knew how to control the narrative. But what happens when that narrative is punctured by a video no one was prepared for? Could the very skill that made Taehyung such an icon, his ability to maintain a polished facade, now be his greatest vulnerability? Insiders familiar with the inner workings of BTS have described the group's return as a meticulously choreographed event. Every detail, from promotional schedules to personal appearances, has been strategized to maximize impact. The completion of military service was framed as the dawn of a new era, a renaissance that would remind the world why BTS reigns supreme. Yet, even the most carefully planned resurgence can be undone by something as mundane and as devastating as a moment of candor. Fans are now scouring older videos and interviews, searching for additional inconsistencies that might confirm their worst suspicions. Are there more moments when Taehyung slipped out of character? Have we simply failed to notice them until now? What's especially fascinating is the timing. Only weeks before the clip exploded online, Compose Coffee unveiled a campaign touting Taehyung as a paragon of refined taste. His face appeared on billboards, bus shelters, and every social feed you could imagine. The message was unmistakable. This is not a boyish idol, but a mature tastemaker. And yet here he is, caught in an unguarded instant that seems to shatter the illusion of sophistication with a single mischievous grin. Some marketing analysts have already begun speculating about the fallout. Will Compose Coffee quietly remove him from future campaigns? Will other brands reconsider their associations? This is not the first time the K-pop machine has struggled to reconcile human imperfection with industrial-scale branding. But few idols have embodied the tension quite so vividly as Taehyung. Perhaps that is why this controversy feels so consequential. If a star of his caliber, someone whose influence spans music, fashion, and culture, can be toppled by one unfiltered video, what does that mean for every other carefully curated image in the industry? Could this be the moment when the public finally tires of perfection and demands something more real? And yet, there is something almost tragic about the spectacle now unfolding. You can sense it in the tone of the thousands of comments pouring in every hour, the obsessive replays of the clip, the breathless speculation about motives and betrayals. Underneath all the outrage and the memes and the think pieces, there is a quieter, more unsettling question. Why do we expect our idols to be everything we want them to be? Flawless yet relatable, polished yet authentic, mature yet unthreatening? When did we decide that they should never contradict themselves, never laugh too loudly, never slip out of character? If you listen closely, you can hear the voices of fans who are not outraged but heartbroken. Some feel as if they have been deceived, as though the person they trusted most has been hiding in plain sight. Others feel betrayed by themselves, by the realization that they were so desperate to believe in the fantasy that they ignored every clue that it might be incomplete. And some are simply exhausted by the endless cycle of pedestal building and pedestal smashing that defines modern fandom. IT is telling that in the midst of all this turmoil, Taehyung has remained silent. Not a single statement, not even a cryptic post, has emerged from his personal channels. Is this silence a strategic choice, a way to let the storm burn itself out? Or is it evidence that he does not know what to say, that even he is struggling to reconcile the person he is with the person he is expected to be? And if he does eventually speak, will anyone believe him? Or has the damage already been done, the myth permanently cracked? The irony is almost too perfect. In trying so hard to appear sophisticated, he may have proved that sophistication itself is just another performance. Fans have begun circulating older quotes in which Taehyung mused about the pressure to present an image, the burden of living under constant scrutiny. "Sometimes I feel like I'm not allowed to make mistakes," he once said. But no one could have predicted just how prophetic those words would become. Have you ever wondered whether the image you see of your favorite celebrity is nothing more than a polished illusion? Is it possible that the charming, sophisticated, almost untouchable figure of Kim Taehyung, the beloved V of BTS, has been carefully constructed to keep you believing in a myth? What if the persona you've admired for years is crumbling before your eyes, piece by fragile piece? This question has ignited a wildfire across social media after a single video clip, shared on X just days ago, began spreading like a spark in a dry forest. The footage, which at first seemed harmless, shows Taehyung laughing and engaging in what many described as childish antics that directly contradict the statements he himself made in past interviews, where he confidently asserted that he disliked immature behavior. How can fans reconcile this shocking inconsistency with the elegant, composed image he has projected for so long? Could this be the moment when the mask finally slips? In the viral video, Taehyung appears in an unguarded moment, his posture relaxed, his expression bright with mischief. He teases another person off camera, gesturing playfully in a manner that some have described as endearing and others have called embarrassing. But what truly fueled the outrage was not the playfulness itself, but the undeniable irony. Taehyung had repeatedly insisted that he disdains childishness, a declaration preserved in countless interview archives and circulated widely by fans eager to showcase his maturity. Why, then, does this video look so strikingly different from that narrative? Some longtime followers have insisted there is no contradiction at all, claiming that idols, like any human beings, are entitled to moments of levity. But the timing of this leak, coinciding with BTS's long-awaited comeback after military service, has led critics to suggest that this footage was no accident. Could this be part of a deliberate attempt to puncture his reputation at the very moment when the group is regaining global dominance? If you look more closely, you will notice the unsettling parallel between the viral clip and Taehyung's broader rise in the fashion and luxury worlds. Just weeks ago, he graced the cover of Pop magazine, photographed in a series of extravagant ensembles that emphasized his cultivated aura of refinement. Simultaneously, he became the face of Composed Coffee, an endorsement deal framed as a testament to his sophisticated taste. Is it possible that these glossy campaigns were meant to distract you from the truth? That the sophisticated image is, in part, an elaborate performance? Observers who track celebrity PR strategies have noted that in the K-pop industry, maintaining a spotless persona is not simply desirable, it is essential. Fans expect idols to be paragons of virtue and taste, to model adulthood without ever shedding the glow of innocence. Taehyung's carefully edited public appearances have always balanced on this knife edge. At once artistic and relatable, mature but never aloof, dignified yet still approachable. This contradiction has fueled countless fanfictions, in which he is depicted as a refined hero with a secret softness. But could the very narrative that made him so magnetic also be the illusion that is now unraveling? The reactions to the clip were swift and polarizing. Within hours, hashtags questioning his authenticity began trending worldwide. Some fans expressed disbelief, their comments tinged with betrayal. How could he say he hates childishness and then act this way? Others leapt to his defense, arguing that everyone deserves the freedom to be playful without judgment. Yet underneath the debate lies a deeper question. Why did so many people feel personally wounded by a moment of laughter? What does it reveal about the precarious relationship between an idol's real self and the fantasies projected onto them by millions of strangers? Sources close to Taehyung have so far declined to comment. Big Hit Music has issued no official statement, perhaps hoping that the controversy will evaporate on its own. But history suggests that ignoring the story may only fan the flames. Remember when an innocuous airport photo of another BTS member sparked an entire cycle of speculation about hidden feuds and secret relationships? In K-pop, nothing is ever just a moment. It is a symbol, a cipher, a clue to something larger. Is it possible that Taehyung's playful moment is just that, a fleeting lapse in composure? Or does it hint at a deeper truth about the gulf between who he is and who he feels pressured to be? Fans who have followed him since debut recall countless instances when he seemed to struggle under the weight of expectations, the pressure to be not merely talented, but perfect. Did this contradiction finally boil over in that single viral moment? Observers have pointed out that the scandal is not occurring in a vacuum. As BTS prepares to reassert its dominance over the global charts, any fracture in the group's unified image becomes a point of fascination and, potentially, of vulnerability. Is it mere coincidence that the footage emerged just as Compose's Coffee launched an aggressive campaign spotlighting Taehyung's elegance? Could rivals or opportunists be leveraging this controversy to undercut his marketability? For years, Taehyung has been praised for cultivating a personal brand that straddles art, fashion, and music. His solo endeavors have been celebrated as evidence of his unique sophistication. But if even a single video can make fans question whether he truly embodies the ideals he promotes, what does it mean for his long-term influence? Will the next endorsement partner hesitate before aligning their products with his face? Or will this moment pass, ultimately strengthening his image as someone unafraid to be imperfect? And yet, there is another angle to this controversy that many are reluctant to explore. What if the real scandal is not that Taehyung contradicted himself, but that fans expected him never to do so? Is the true hypocrisy not his, but ours? The hypocrisy of demanding that a 29-year-old superstar maintain a flawless persona indefinitely, never admitting to the simple joys of laughter and mischief?